Hello, welcome back to TEW 2020 and my little corner of the internet, and welcome back to 1992 and the WWF. Yeah, we are headed towards the first Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, first Elimination Chamber match 10 years early. In real life, of course, it was 2002, but here we are going to have 1992 Elimination Chamber. Before we get there, we have Superstars tonight. We're going to do Superstars and the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view on this broadcast here. Nothing much to tell you about beforehand. Nobody really being signed or anything. Felino's got one appearance left on his contract. Has he got any more popular since he was here? He has a little bit. He was all 5s and stuff, and now he's all 13s here. You can see America on the top left there, American popularity. So it's helped him a little bit, I'm sure. But that's it really. There's nothing else to say. A few people have morale issues, but that's normal. So I'm going to head on to Superstars, get things booked, and we're going to see how things look. So I will see you there for Superstars. I'll see you in just a moment. Hi, welcome back. It's time for WWF Superstars, the go-home show before the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And we're going to start off with a triple threat match on the pre-show. Barry Horowitz, Superfly, Jimmy Snuka, and Butch of the Bushwhackers. The lower card craziness storyline does advance with this segment. It doesn't gain any heat. I don't know if that's because it's on the pre-show. I'm not sure. But Superfly Jimmy Snuka wins because he's, of course, the bigger name out of all of these boys. 48 rated match. It's pretty decent for a pre-show match. Also on the pre-show tonight are Money Incorporated in a non-title match against Jim Powers and Virgil. Of course, Money Incorporated win because why not? There's your two pre-show matches for the show. But let's get on with the main show. We start with Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who's struggling when going off script today. I don't know why. But he hypes up Elimination Chamber pay-per-view coming up on Sunday. He says, at Elimination Chamber, we're going to have the first ever 6-man match Elimination Chamber winner. Will go on to fight the World Heavyweight Champion, whoever that may be, at WrestleMania. And he hypes up Ric Flair versus Marty Jannetty, and he hypes up the 6-man Elimination Chamber match. He says, in order to showcase everything tonight, we're going to have a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team main event. It's going to be Ric Flair teaming with his pal Tully Blanchard against Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, against Jushin Liger and Marty Jannetty, and against Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man Randy Savage. Main event tonight. Go home show. Let's put all our eggs in the basket. Let's have some fun. But let's go on with the show properly. We start off with a Fatal 4-Way match. Brian Knobbs, Paul Roma, Ricky Morton, and Earthquake. And Earthquake is the winner. The Hogan Flair storylines advance with lost heat with this segment. Of course it has, because Knobbs and Roma aren't doing the big matches that you would have with Hogan Flair, and I think in the future I'm maybe going to have these guys. I put them in major roles on the storyline. Maybe I need to put them in minor roles. I'm still learning a lot about this game as I go. But the Disasters versus Rock and Roll storyline has gained heat, which is phenomenal, and Earthquake wins. Next angle, the British Bulldog. He cuts a promo hyping up his upcoming match with the Mountie. He says, I fought the Mountie before, and we've had some great matches, but I've got my dog with me tonight. I've got Matilda with me tonight. I've got my Bulldog, and if I don't take a bite out of the Mountie, my Bulldog will take a bite out of the Mountie. And off he goes to do his thing. So we have a match, the British Bulldog versus the Mountie. Mountie wins because of the Repo Man. So the Repo Man's come out. He's already taken Tatanka's Native American headdress. He's taken Big Boss Man's nightstick, and now he's taken the dog. Oh no! And he he comes to ringside, he takes Matilda, and he's, I've got your dog, it's your little dog too. And he runs away, does Repo Man things, and off he runs. Repo Man doing Repo Man things. So afterwards, the Bulldog runs backstage. He gets caught by Tatanka and the Boss Man. They're all annoyed, man. They're all so angry. It's like, we're not gonna stand for this anymore. Big Boss Man said, Repo Man, you're about to serve some hard time, boy. You want to come to the Elimination Chamber match? Find yourself some partners, and we're gonna get back what's rightfully ours. Tatanka is like, yeah, it's time. The headdress is coming home. The dog is coming home. The nightstick is coming home. And Bulldog is incensed. He's beside himself. He's like, I want my dog back. And so they've challenged Repo Man. We're going to get what has been taken from them, what has been repossessed at the Elimination Chamber. We then have a match between Keiji Muto and Bret the Hitman Hart. Non-title match, exhibition match between Bret and Keiji Muto. I did say, of course, that I have brought in Keiji Muto as someone on loan from New Japan. I mentioned a few episodes ago. Not used him yet, so I thought, let's have a match. 61 rated match between Bret and Muto. Fantastic. He's going in the Hall of Fame in WWE in real life. Very well deserved. But of course, Keiji Muto will win because Mick Martel runs in to attack the Hitman, getting in that last bit of mind games before we go to the Elimination Chamber match and their 2 out of 3 falls match. 61 rated match. The storyline advances but doesn't gain or lose heat, so not too bad, I suppose. Moving on, we have a little backstage skip between Honky Tonk Man and El Matador. And Honky Tonk Man's, look at me, I'm Elvis, I'm dancing. Look at me, name but a hound dog. And as he's dancing, he swings his arm, he hits El Matador. And El Matador's like, hey, have some more respect. It's not how you're supposed to be. What's going on, man? What's going on? And Honky Tonk Man's like, you want to talk about respect? Respect this. And he starts dancing in El Matador's face. And El Matador's like, you know, he's angry, man. He's just been disrespected by the Honky Tonk Man. He calls him out to the ring, and we're going to have an impromptu match. And there it is. 55 rated match. Honky Tonk Man defeats El Matador. That's a one-night feud, really. It's not even a storyline that I put in, but it's just something. Had some space, and I haven't used El Matador or the Honky Tonk Man, really. So, and I wanted to, so there you go. Honky Tonk beats El Matador. 55 rated match. We then get another music video to promote Eddie Guerrero. Eddie, you know, doing what he does, and Eddie Guerrero's pointing to the camera. And he says, "Hey, did you know that back home everybody uses the same hair products as me?" And he runs his fingers through his greasy old mullet that he has. And he looks at the camera and says, "Did you know that I am the best dressed wrestler in all of Latino culture? And did you know that I'm going to be at the Elimination Chamber?" And so Eddie Guerrero will have an exhibition match at the Elimination Chamber. It's only a 13 segment rating. I'm just trying to do something with Eddie. I think it's fun. Back in the day in the 90s, you would have these kinds of things. If you remember Razor Ramon's like promo videos before he really debuted. And I know I've used Eddie Guerrero before, but it's just something that I think is cool. It's obviously not working as well as I want it to. And then Repo Man's backstage. I found some partners. Yeah. I found the Mountie. And I found Bam Bam Bigelow. And we're going to go to the Elimination Chamber. And not only are we going to keep what I've taken from you, we're going to take a victory. And the Mountie will be talking about the Boss Man. You want to talk about hard times? I know all about the law, and I know that you don't follow it, Mr. Boss Man, because possession is 9/10 of the law. And Bam Bam Bigelow kind of looks at him a bit like, what are you guys talking about? I'm just here to beat somebody up. So, there we go. Yeah, I think that's cool. We've got our triple six-man tag match for Elimination Chamber. I've already pre-booked it when I was booking this show, so that is now in place, ready for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. We're then going to fade a 4-way tag match, one of two tonight, which is for the number one contendership for the Tag Team Championships at the Elimination Chamber match. And of course, the Legion of Doom will defeat the Beverly Brothers, the New Foundation, and the New Orient Express. So, awesome. It gives the Beverly Brothers and the New Foundation a chance to have some more storyline heat between the pair of them, which is pretty cool. And of course, it means Legion of Doom get to go onto Elimination Chamber and have a match with Money Incorporated. 60 rated match. It's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. And then we get a match with Bob Backlund and Hacksaw Jim Duggan against Sid Justice and Shane Douglas. So Bob Backlund brings Hacksaw, a real American, for an American guy like me with an American guy like you. I think we can win. And of course they do, but it's a real quick cradle. He pins Shane Douglas and he out-wrestles the guy, basically. He out-wrestles Shane Douglas really quick, and it's obviously going to mean that we are heading towards a match at the Elimination Chamber, rematch between Shane Douglas and Bob Backlund. Moving forward, Hulk Hogan is on stage, and Hulk Hogan is talking about his opposition. So Hulk Hogan's talking about, you know something, dude? Let me tell you something, brother. Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, is going into the first Elimination Chamber match, dude. At the Elimination Chamber, I've got to go up against 5 of the biggest guys in the industry, brother. I'm going to go up against the man from Japan, Jushin Liger. And let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something, brother. He knows a thing or two about climbing and running and flying through the air, dude. But let me tell you something. Macho Man, I got to go up against you, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to team tonight, brother. We're going to team tonight, dude. But just maybe I'm going to hit you with that big leg, brother. And we're going to have me and you at the end of that show, my man. But you know, there's some new guys coming up, brother. There's some new stars. And Shawn Michaels, I know that you're on the way up, but you gotta go against Hulkamania. You gotta go against the largest arms in the world, dude. And let me tell you something, brother. You're not gonna know what you're gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you. Undertaker, let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something, dude. You and me, we tussled before, brother. We know what's up. We know what's happening. But I'm going to say my prayers, and I'm going to beat your forces of darkness, brother. Tully Blanchard, you think because you got the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, on your side, brother, you think you can beat the Hulkamania? Let me tell you something, brother. Dude, brother. Dude, you ain't got what it takes to beat Hulk Hogan. So all of y'all, what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania runs wild on you? 78 rated match. The Hogan Flair storyline gains heat. The Savage Undertaker storyline advances with this segment. The performance of Hulk Hogan was fantastic. Thank you very much, game. I know, I'm very good at what I do. But yeah, moving on. We then do have our main event. 71 rated match. All the storylines either advance or gain heat, which is fantastic. And Ric Flair and Tully Blanchard win the match. Ric Flair submits Shawn Michaels with a figure 4 leg lock. So Hogan and Savage don't get pinned, and neither does Jushin Liger and Jannetty. But obviously in this match, you will definitely have a few moments where Jannetty's trying to get his hands on Ric Flair, trying to sort of show Ric Flair what he can do, or get his hands on Shawn, and both times they'll tag out. They'll be like, no, I'm not having anything to do with this. Marty Jannetty's on a roll, he's on fire, I'm not having anything to do with this. Then obviously naturally we'll have some lockups between Liger and Michaels, and they can do some really cool like crisp movements. Savage and Flair will have a couple of moments as well, and of course Liger gets a chance to mix up with some of the big guns here in the WWF, so it's a really good opportunity. I would love to actually have seen this match in 1992, but they didn't really do anything like that back then. But 71 rated match. Hogan came out of the match looking good. It's not a bad main event. And finally we have a segment, a 74 rated segment, where Ric Flair is left in the ring with Savage and Hogan, and again there's just a stare down between them, and Ric Flair holding up his title. I know, woo, Nature Boy. 74 rated. Apparently people improvise well throughout the segment, so there you go. And there is the finished show. An overall rating of 70. Not my best work. The show increases our popularity in 15 regions, loses us popularity in 11. I think I keep losing popularity in America, which isn't what I want. But that's that. That's this show. Come back in a moment. This episode will continue when we come back for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I'm hyped. I hope you're hyped too. I'll see you there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Elimination Chamber. That's right, it's time. Let's go. We're going to start with a couple of pre-show matches. We're going to start with Minoru Suzuki defeating Koko Beware. I love it, Minoru Suzuki. I really love Minoru Suzuki. I want to utilize him as much as I can. I don't have much for him right now, but we'll keep throwing him into matches, give him time for people to see him, and that's what he's doing here, defeating Koko Beware. Another decent pre-show match. Terry Funk defeats Brian Knobbs, Kevin Sullivan, and Paul Roma. So again, these just storyline advancements, really. That's also on the pre-show. You are probably going to see a lot of storylines coming. Well, not a lot, but a few storylines coming to an end on here because I want to move on and do a few more things. So let's go on with the show proper, and we're going to start off with a blinder of a match. Starting at the beginning of the show, starting off hot, the World Heavyweight Title match. The Nature Boy, woo! Ric Flair against Marty Jannetty. Beats him in 14 minutes 40 by submission with a figure 4 leg lock. 78 rated match, and Ric Flair makes defense number 1 of his heavyweight title. I love it. Fantastic. Ric Flair wins the match. We then get Jushin Liger on a backstage promo. We're going to get promos throughout the night of the chamber participants, and of course Reverend Slick is helping out with that, saying, my boy Jushin Liger, yeah, we're going to have the opportunity of a lifetime. That's right, we're going to have the Elimination Chamber, yeah, it's going to be a great time, and I'm going to testify right now that you're going to have the opportunity to be the biggest upset in the history of the World Wrestling Federation, yeah. And Jushin Liger will be nodding there like, it's time, it is time to win and go to WrestleMania. So Jushin Liger, they were first promo of the night. We then get a match between the Beverly Brothers and the New Foundation. Beverly Brothers winning. It says here with a double underhook suplex, but I believe I did it for... No, I didn't. I thought I was going to say, cheat to win. But let's assume that they did, because I want this storyline to continue a little bit further, mainly because I've got nothing else for them to do. So why not just keep them going? So Beverly Brothers, New Foundation, we have that match right there. We then get The Undertaker, and The Undertaker talks about ours. I am familiar with chambers. I am familiar with being in small, enclosed spaces like a coffin, like a chamber. And I will rise out of the chamber to take my rightful place at WrestleMania's main event. So there you have it, The Undertaker with his backstage promo. We then get the Rock and Roll Express beating Earthquake in a 2-on-1 match. Naturally, this was I'm the nod over who I wanted to win this match. But I think in the end of the day, it's the Rock and Roll Express, one of the most legendary tag teams of all time, and to think that they would lose a handicap match just doesn't make sense to me. It does end the storyline. 59 rated match, Rock and Roll Express with the win, and they will move on to new feuds. Speaking of ending feuds, this has not worked. Barry Horowitz, Skinner and Hercules defeat Virgil and the Bushwhackers in our lower card Craziness feud. 32 rated match. It didn't really work, did it? I'm a bit sad about it, but it is what it is. I thought maybe I could get these guys up a bit, but maybe I need to be more patient. I don't know if you know more about this game than me. Give me a comment and let me know how you would do this better, because I'll take on board any feedback. But yeah, that's how that ends. Barry Horowitz and Skinner and Hercules win. And the storyline even lost heat in the end of it. So there you go. We then get an angle with Shawn Michaels. He's backstage admiring himself in the mirror. He's like, what better way to showcase how good I am than by going into an Elimination Chamber match and proving my worth to the world. I'm the greatest. I'm the best looking. I'm the greatest wrestler. Marty Jannetty, you couldn't get the job done tonight. I'm going to go to WrestleMania and show you why I can get the job done. Because I'm the Heartbreak Kid. And I'm just that good. Backstage from Shawn Michaels. We then get our 6-man tag match. Bulldog, Bossman and Tatanka beating the Repo Man, the Mountie and Bam Bam Bigelow. So Repo Man will come down and he'll be walking the dog. And the Mountie will come down. He's holding Big Boss Man's nightstick, and Bam Bam Bigelow will walk down with Tatanka's headdress on, wondering what the hell he's doing here. he's the only one that's not so gimmicky and crazy out of the three of them. And Bam Bam's looking like, well, what the hell are we doing, man? But during the match, of course, they will have the opportunity. Bulldog, Bossman, and Tatanka will beat them all up, do what good baby faces do, and come out on top. And win the day and get all of their stuff back. We're not done with this mid-card thing just yet. I will probably run it to WrestleMania, because we do have Haku on the heel side and Jushin Liger on the babyface side as well with these. So we will try and run it a bit longer, I hope. And but the storyline just advances. No heat lost or gained. So there we go. Moving forward, we have Eddie Guerrero. Yeah. Latino Hita coming in, and like we said, he's going to have his exhibition match here at the Elimination Chamber. 47 rated match. He defeats Greg the Hammer Valentine. Greg seemed off his game. That's because he was upset anyway that I booked him to lose. But Greg, you're on the way out. Eddie's on the way up. I got to prep for the future here and give the guy a win. So Eddie Guerrero with the win over Greg the Hammer Valentine. Moving forward, we have Tully Blanchard with his backstage promo, and Tully's there talking about, hey, this isn't my normal forte. I don't go into matches like this very often, but I have an opportunity to go to WrestleMania and go against the greatest wrestler of our generation, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, my friend, someone I'm honoured to call a friend, and I'll be honoured to give him a WrestleMania main event that he can be proud of, unlike anybody else who's in this match. 72 rated, so Flair helped Blanchard during this segment, so Flair be backstage, and you can just imagine Flair as Tully Blanchard, he's strutting, and Tully Blanchard be like, my best friend Ric Flair, woo! I'm going to give him a WrestleMania match that he's proud of, woo! And it's just Flair being Flair, just strutting around and wooing constantly, which I think will be really funny. We then get Bret Hart and the Model Rick Martin, a 74 rated match. Yeah, let's go! 2 out of 3 falls, 18 minutes, 46, 2 falls to 1 after winning the first. So Bret wins the first fall, Martel wins the second fall, and Bret then gets the final fall with a sharpshooter, and Bret retains the Intercontinental title. That's the end of this storyline. I think I felt like my promos were getting a bit sort of samey with Bret and the model. So I thought maybe we'll do something different and have some fun maybe somewhere else. So we end in that feud. Bret Hart goes ahead and continues on as the Intercontinental Champion. 74 rated match though, I'm happy with that, that's awesome. We then get a 69 rated match. Shane Douglas beats Bob Backlund after Sid Justice interferes. Yeah, that's what more can you say? That's the end of that. Not the end of that, sorry, that's not the end of the storyline, because Bob Backlund won at the Royal Rumble. Shane Douglas wins here at Elimination Chamber, so we can now kind of start to progress things towards WrestleMania, I hope. I have maybe some ideas I don't know if I'm going to do yet, but we'll see what happens. But that was a 69 rated match. Nothing to be ashamed of, really. Well done to those boys. We then get the Macho Man. Yeah, Randy Savage talking about Elimination Chamber is all about chaos. Yeah, and the chaos runs deep within the Macho Man. Yeah. Let me tell you something. There is nobody who can do what I can do inside of a ring. Yeah, an Elimination Chamber. There's nobody that can stop the Macho Man. Yeah, dig it. 87 rated. I need a drink after that. Give me a second. So, we then go on to the tag team title match. Money Incorporated defeating the Legion of Doom in a 70 rated match. Money Incorporated make their third defense of the tag team titles, and they win the day and defeat the Legion of Doom. It's the end of that storyline. We're going to move on now to different wrestlers. Like I mentioned in the Royal Rumble, Hawk has some drink problems right now, so I'm hoping maybe we can help him out, and maybe he's going to be okay. I don't know, but if he's okay for a long time, then perhaps we'll transition him back into a title position. But for now, I'm going to use the Legion of Doom somewhere else. I am still going to use them because I love me some Legion of Doom. And we got Hulk Hogan, brother. The Elimination Chamber. I talked about it on Superstars, dude, but it's coming up next, brother. And it's time to show what Hulkamania is all about, brother. Yeah. And then we have the Elimination Chamber match. 78 rated match. Hulk Hogan with the win. And Liger. Apparently he pinned Liger at the end. Wow, I didn't choose the winner. I wanted to be surprised by it. So Liger gets to the end. That's phenomenal. I think if I was booking this, obviously you're starting with the two in the ring, I would start with Liger and Michaels, if I'm honest with you, because I think that they would be just a great way to start the show. And we're obviously going to showcase, obviously at this point, we're going to showcase Jushin Liger, aren't we? Of course we are. So I would start with Liger and Michaels. I would bring in maybe The Undertaker, so you can have Taker and Michaels, double teaming Liger, and Liger would do a lot of sort of running around, ducking under people, jumping off the ropes and things. Bring in Savage at that point, and you'd then be able to eliminate Shawn, I think, potentially. Sorry that Shawn would be the first one eliminated, but there you go. And then you'd have Savage and Liger with The Undertaker. Would have Tully Blanchard would come in, and I think that'd be pretty cool. Blanchard probably wouldn't last too long either. We'd have the last four being Savage, Liger, Taker, and Hogan. Hogan would then clear house. You get Hogan and Savage being Hogan and Savage and getting each other's faces. That gives Liger the opportunity to try and eliminate The Undertaker. And you'd end up with the three baby faces. Savage would then get eliminated. Hogan Liger would go for quite a while because Hogan wouldn't know what to do. But of course, it is Hulk Hogan, so what you gonna do, brother? And Hogan would win. Now, I've just come up with that on the fly, but I think it would be pretty cool. And it really gives Liger a chance to showcase what he can do with all of the guys. So that's awesome. I need to stop Brawler. Brooklyn Brawler needs to stop being a goddamn road agent because he sucks at it. But you know what? Everything gained heat. All the storylines gained heat. So happy days. And there we go, 77 rated pay-per-view. The show increased our popularity in 9 regions, and we got an overall rating of 77. So there we are. Elimination Chamber is in the books and all sorted, and we are now heading towards WrestleMania. And we know our WrestleMania main event is going to be Hulk Hogan one-on-one with Ric Flair. It's potentially quite predictable, but in real life, we had, at this point, WrestleMania, Hogan and Flair apparently didn't do well enough on the house show circuit, so WWF nixed it, and we had Savage Flair, which admittedly was a phenomenal match, and Hogan Sid Justice at the main event of this year's WrestleMania in reality. And honestly, I think like a lot of wrestling fans, it was a missed opportunity for Hogan and Flair to do what they do and have an amazing match. So I've got an opportunity now to try and do that and hopefully do it properly. So we'll see how it goes. And with all that said, I hope you do come back and I hope you do watch as we run up to WrestleMania. And thank you for watching this episode of TEW of my WWF 1992 save. A big thank you to TEWDB where I got the database from. A big thank you to vecteezy.com where I get the background renders for the TEW thumbnails that I use. And a big thank you again to all of you for spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you liked it. Like the video, subscribe, you know where the buttons are. Tell me what you thought. Do you like the matches? Do you like the storylines? Would you do anything different? Is there anybody you want me to use more? Anything like that, let me know. I'd love to have a go. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.